And we are live. Happy Thursday, everybody. This is Katya Gorbacheva with TotalBodyLab, and I hope nothing messes up this time. Welcome to our bi-weekly clients and friends chat. So let's add all of the folks to the stream. Hi, Michelle and Carol. Hi, Julie. How are you guys doing today?
Good.
Yay.
Good.
Good. I'm sorry about last week. Like everything went wrong last week, and thank you for checking in on me. A bunch of people are like, "Are you okay?" Yeah. Or not last week, 2 weeks ago. Yeah, everything is getting better. Julie competed, Caitlin competed. I think Harsh signed up for a competition. Mike signed up for a competition. Like half of the people are doing something or have done something. So cool.
Good. Nice.
Yeah. So let's hear about the wins. Julie, you want to start? You want to tell us about everything? I know it's a little bit of like kind of it's been a while, but still.
Yeah. It was good. I mean, I was stressing out pretty hardcore beforehand. I don't know. I think the weirdest part about doing a powerlifting competition, if you've never done one, is like the commands and how they tell you to squat, and then you have to like just do things when they tell you. Especially
Right.
bench. I was really afraid of like start, press, rack, and
Yep.
except for the federation I was competing in, they actually didn't tell you to start. So you just started, and then they would tell you.
Wait, on squat they didn't tell you?
They don't tell you. So as
What
soon as
federation
they
was that again?
UPA.
Okay.
I forget what the U stands for. I'll have
Okay.
to go look it up. But
United Powerlifting America.
yeah, I think it's United. Yeah. So pretty much for squat, as soon as they tell you the bar's loaded or the platform's ready or whatever, you just go and you squat. So, and then they tell you to rack it afterwards. So it was a little bit weird because everything I had watched said like, oh, they'll tell you when to start. But I guess they're a little bit different. So, but all of that went fine. I listened. I didn't lose my mind. The warm-ups went well. I hit 8 out of my 9 lifts.
Just like Caitlin. Yeah, good job.
I PR'd on squats, which was really awesome. I finally hit 300 on deadlifts, which was really awesome. That was a PR for me. And then for bench, I did not PR, but I felt great. And so I went for a 148-pound bench on my last one and couldn't do it, which is fine. But that's okay. I think the only thing that sucked was it just so happened that day happened to be, I think there was a day, and I think it was that day where Detroit was actually the second worst air quality city in the world.
That day, the day of your competition?
I think it was that day. Because afterwards, after the competition, I went out to get some like junk food to eat out. And I remember looking at the moon and I was like, why is the moon so red? The moon was like cherry red from the fires, from all of the ash and everything from the fires in Canada coming down. So I got super sick because I was outside. A lot of that air was coming into the gym because they had all the doors open. And I was sick for like 3 weeks after the competition. But anyway, I'm really happy I did it. And yeah, going to do some more hopefully later this year. So that's it.
Sorry, I had to bump up my speaker. Yeah, I'm glad everything went well. That's really weird that they didn't give a squat command. Because, like, how do you differentiate from a person who started walking out and finished walking out? And, like, I don't know, that's weird. The bench pauses were really short, too, from your videos. I remember, like, very short. So that's a lucky thing. Especially now, like, have you guys watched IPF Worlds?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, the Worlds competitions were happening. I think they're still happening. They're in the heavies now. Or maybe they just got done, but I know a couple folks who have competed, and yeah, those pauses, like the depth, everything, it's just
How long are the pauses for IPF? Because before my competition, the judges told us, they were like, we're not trying to mess anyone up. Like, we're just trying to, we'll say press as soon as we see that you've stopped. And I thought that was really cool that they did that.
That's how long you're supposed to completely pause the bar. So if the plates keep spinning, that means it's not in full stop yet. It means it still has momentum. So that's the thing. And if people are like kind of bouncy, it doesn't fly. So they're gonna wait. Like I've gotten a 5-second pause before.
Oh my gosh.
Because it was my fault because it was hard for me to stop the bar. So yeah.
That would suck for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the one that you did, Carol, I think that it was touch and go, yeah?
Yeah. I've never done one where they told me where I had to stop at the bottom, and I tend to bounce it off my chest like you've seen in the videos, so I just kind of bounce it and go. So that would suck if I had to stop.
Yeah, that makes sense. Cool. So since the competition, what have you been up to,
Julie? Just going to the doctor, making sure I didn't have COVID. I thought I had COVID for a while. Glad I didn't. Yeah, and just kind of doing life stuff, reading books and chilling out. And I'm glad I'm well enough now that I can actually go and start lifting again and get back to my martial arts and all of that stuff. So, oh, you're on mute, Katya.
Sorry, I said I'm glad you've recovered because you wouldn't be the first person to just get sick right after the competition. Really, it's a lot of stress. You're like on the like central nervous system and just emotionally everything kind of peak, and then it feels like you can only go down from there. So yeah, I get it.
Yeah, and my body was so sore the next day, which is weird, because I didn't feel like I stressed my body that much. I think it was a lot of like just the nervousness and everything.
Right. Cool. Michelle, Carol, how is life with y'all? How is it to be back in the gym for you, Carol?
I mean, it's good. I'm glad to be lifting again. Yeah, I mean, that's my big thing. It's just I'm back and able to lift more than 20 pounds now. So yeah, easing my way back into it. I like doing a little bit of PT built in with the lighter lifts because I still haven't gone real heavy yet. I haven't tried anything.
Yeah, my favorite video of y'all's this week was when Michelle was doing the rows, Carol, and you were doing the squats in the back. Like that was so cool. I got 2 in 1. Yeah,
I saw her filming and I said, I'm going to be in this video. It's the first squats that I've done with any weight. So.
And how did that feel? How is that on the core after the surgery?
It's fine. I haven't had any issues with like my surgery or any of that. I haven't felt anything. I've been extra sore though, like doing anything. Like my legs are sore, my feet are sore, my abs are sore. Well, that they were actually sore before from all the jump ropes at one point, but just getting back in and doing more. Everything's kind of my forearms from holding weights since I haven't really held weights in over 6 weeks. So just everything's sore now than it was before.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's how I feel after vacation.
Yeah, but I feel good. I mean, nothing feels off, so I feel good.
Yay. Awesome. What about you, Michelle?
Things are going well. Still struggling with my knee pain a little bit, but as long as I put a knee brace or a knee wrap on, I seem to be okay to do things. But
right, I've noticed you do squat in knee sleeves when it's a little bit heavier.
Yeah, even when I was struggling even when it's not heavy the other night, just because I don't know what I did to it, but it hurts. So just taking it easy on that.
Yeah, I feel you. My knee gives me trouble as well. The one that had surgery, it's just kind of a thing that I always feel like is going to be there. So.
Well, this is the one she had replaced, and it's bothering her again, or still one or the other. So,
I thought the surgery might fix that problem, but I will. I'm working through it, so work around it.
I feel you. Cool. Well, while oh, it's me. I didn't go. I was gonna say while we're waiting for other folks, we can start talking accessories. But yeah, what about my week? I guess Triangle Veg Fest is almost here, so I'm excited to do that and finally have a Veg Fest locally for which I don't have to travel. That's mind blowing. I'm so excited. That's totally a win. We had Greenville Fun Fest that rained on us. Like every single Veg Fest so far has rained. So whatever the turnout we had expected, or anything else, like nothing went our way. In Sarasota, in Greenville, where else was it? Yeah, some other place. So yeah, I guess now we have Georgia, Nashville, Memphis, and Asheville left. So still not far travel, but we'll see how those go. I hope the weather holds up. And training wise, I'm hitting really heavy squat, like triples and fives. So it's super scary because, again, knees and all of the traveling and walking. But it seemed fine. I hit 151 for 3 on Monday. That was crazy. That was less than my opener when I started competing. So I was like, oh, cool. Yeah. I mean, that was more than my opener when I started competing. Yeah. Do y'all understand kilos? Not so much. Okay. Let's convert this mass.
It's like 3.
151. Yeah, 332.
Okay.
333. Yeah. It's just hard mentally, but outside of that should be fine. So yeah. Alrighty. Let me try to present. I think this will be a really fruitful topic, especially since we have all done powerlifting. Julie is now switching into bodybuilding. So those kind of the way accessories are done in both and programs in both are a little bit different. We are mainly going to talk strength stuff. But boom, infinite loop. Alrighty. Let's present. Oh, there it is. I always forget where it is. Okay, cool. So, generally, folks, when they start powerlifting or just like training with me, they're really surprised how much back accessories they get. I would say that's the number one comment. It's like, oh, my back is so sore. I've never done so much back. And it's kind of underwork. People underwork their posterior chain normally. So yeah, general rules, we do compounds first to hit the growth hormone response a little larger and then use that growth hormone to make our smaller muscles stronger. Some people like to run before the workout. Some people like to do core or like back or whatever. You can. In different circumstances, you can make exceptions from the rule of compounds first, accessories later. Especially if you have an injury, for example, like injured lower back. You may want to like pump it, quote unquote. So just get the muscles in the lower back really like worked, and they engage a lot more when you do compounds after. So it's a fine balance between getting them pumped and really engaged, but not tired. So I used to do that actually due to my lower back injuries, because I've had a hernia since like forever. So I used to do a bunch of back extensions and reverse hypers, and then go like squat or deadlift. And if I didn't do that, my back would really hurt. But if people haven't done back extensions, it can just hurt, period, on that machine. So they can be like, oh, something's weird, something's wrong. Yeah, because that area is kind of not stimulated enough with blood flow, especially when we sit and stuff. Another thing is rotator cuff. I would really do, I think I have given the majority of y'all this, like when you have a band and you just rotate like back, in and out from the elbow. So I would warm up rotator cuff with a band. Outside of that, you can do the rest of the stuff later. So in bodybuilding, you can do more than 50% of your work in accessories, maybe half, I don't know, maybe 60%. especially if the person is afraid to get injured or if they have a good base. Like if they have a good foundation of muscle, right? If they're already pretty strong, you can hit a lot of accessories and still, do really well. But if they haven't really like gotten strength overall in their body, to squat, bench, and deadlift, I'd probably rather teach them that first and then include more varied work and get better results, right? So we're not really focusing on this, which is in bodybuilding, we do more varied accessories for like every single muscle. We do more tempo work. We don't always go to failure. Maybe like a third of the time we go to failure on small stuff. And typically on bodybuilding accessories, you can feel like the burn and you can be like, oh, well, this machine says triceps. I'm going to do a bunch of this machine. My triceps is burning. Great. Moving to the next one. Moving to biceps. So in powerlifting, I would say you're not trying to like feel anything in accessories. The way they're programmed is just to complement strength and core lift, and that's it. So in order of decreasing importance, like I said, back, the most important thing to hit from all angles, all kinds of pulling exercises. Then definitely triceps, especially if you want to improve your bench. Legs, well, sure, they already engaged a ton in your squats and in your deadlifts, but you can throw some accessories that won't harm anything at all. Chest, clearly for bench. Shoulders, well, depends on how wide your bench grip is. I guess for overall safety, I do include it. But from here down, it's like kind of on the line of optional list. Abs, kind of optional. Calves, totally optional. Biceps, mainly if you do switch grip on deadlift, right? Because your biceps will try to engage there. Forearms, totally useless. I don't know who does forearms anymore, unless you have like carpal tunnel or any kind of other things that we're trying to fix. But for overall strength, not so much. So legs are pretty simple. Curls and extensions and leg press should kind of cover it outside of compounds. I don't really see anything else that you need to do for strength much, unless you're trying to improve like mobility, flexibility in your hips, or any kind of lateral work for overall health and proprioception. But legs are pretty simple overall. Triceps, variations of grip, variations of incline and decline on bench, awesome. Dips, I have not seen a powerlifting program without them. I have not seen a powerlifting program with changing grip and bench either. Cable pushdowns, kind of optional, pretty safe. Anybody can do them. Back. So I guess pull-ups are a type of row. So everything here is a type of row, right? So if you're just rowing from all angles, you should be good. You can do rowing with dumbbells, you can do rowing with cables, depending on your home gym or setup or what you have. But don't forget any small muscles. Don't forget your rear delts. Try not to help with your hips. Try to keep lumbar pretty stable. And when you increase your thoracic mobility, you really feel upper body, back muscles do more work. So those go hand in hand. I'm going to pause for questions here because I've talked for a while.
So I have a question about abs.
Yes.
Just thinking about it from a powerlifting standpoint, or if you're someone who's going to be doing squats, like it seems like you would want to have pretty strong abs just to make sure you have stability while you have that weight on your back. Similarly for deadlift, like you want to make sure that you're not rounding too much, or that you're not like that your core is going to stay engaged during the whole lift. So can you talk a little bit about why it is for squat in particular, but also for deadlift? Why is back so much more important than working the abs?
What do abs do? They do this, right? If I'm here, when I'm doing abs, I go like this, right? Whether it's I'm raising legs or I'm raising I'm raising upper body, right? So you're talking squat. Let's say I'm with the barbell, right? So I keep my core tight, but if I'm working on, if I'm getting my abs really strong, what are they going to do with squat? they're going to, I guess, enhance the movement that goes this way, and I'm not going that way. I actually need to strengthen my back to prevent myself going this way, because the back muscles like uncurl me.
But you want to stay in a fixed position, right? You don't want to be like, yeah, you're going to be leaning forward a little bit, but you don't want to be going back too much, and you don't want to keep going forward. So it just seems like you would want to balance your back and your abs so that you can stay in a fixed.
Correct.
Right?
Most people have core overworked. The majority of the people that I start training, everything that they've ever done or done the most in the gym is biceps and abs, biceps and abs, biceps and abs. You know, when I was younger, also I would do like abs out of anything. I would go to the gym and 60% of my workouts when I was like 16 were abs. Like, why? Because I didn't know that to balance stuff, I needed to train back. Like most of us already have abs strong, we can brace, but back is usually not as balanced. So yeah, I would say abs probably get enough of training during your compounds, during your squat, bench, and deadlift. That's for sure. Back, not so much. We don't typically sit pulling stuff. We don't walk around pulling stuff, but we kind of, I would say we can find ourselves bracing. Like, even if you think, like, if you're scared, your like innate response would be brace your core, but you don't really brace your back. So, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, also, what's an LPD? I saw that on
LPD, yeah, totally. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Sweet. LPD is a lat pull down. So
I had the same question. So
Okay. Yep.
yeah. It's basically a lat pull down. So when you sit and do a like seated pull up, or a straight arm lat pull down is when you're kind of bent over in the hips and you're just raising your arms down with a cable, holding a bar that's attached to the cable down to your legs and then up. Yeah. So good question on abs. There are people who I've seen that have like weak abs and will train back and abs, but I don't think I've ever given somebody abs without including back, you know, but I do write a lot of programs that don't have any abs and there's just a ton of back, especially lower back since it's not protected by vertebrae. So moving on, chest. Chest is pretty simple, bunch of pressing, bunch of flies. Bodybuilders do a lot more dumbbell stuff. I have written programs without any barbell, anything, you know, especially if a person is trying to bodybuild and they're going to Planet Fitness. Like, sure, sometimes they're beginners, sometimes they travel, but you can get away with dumbbell. It definitely is a little more dangerous if you're going close to failure in the way you can like drop them on yourself and stuff like that, but still pretty effective when you're confident. Flies, same thing. Once your rotator cuff is pretty stable, really good accessory. While your arms are going around like woo, do a cable fly. I will say in powerlifting programming and strength programming, I don't see a lot of cable presses and flies. In bodybuilding, absolutely, and we change the angles of those cables, if they're down, if they're up, and we fly them from everywhere. So yeah, you can go crazy in those. I feel like if you just put a good solid bench and maybe some dumbbell flies and presses like once a month, maybe every once in a while, you should be good. I only do them kind of off season, or if I'm trying to really switch out my programming. Like right now, I have dumbbell press and flies once a week. Usually, yeah. This is the first time I've had them probably since the last like 3 months, since last quarter. So not necessary, not as necessary. Single arm stuff. Don't do a lot of that. In bodybuilding, you do. Bodybuilding, again, cable, rows, cables, single arm, different angle, chest things. Not powerlifting, not worried about that. Shoulders. The majority of the people who've come from bodybuilding, again, they try to do too much shoulders, and that can hurt them. You can overwork your shoulders, they get tired, and something goes off. So I would probably program less shoulders and more just to be safe, and make sure people are doing like their lateral in front and rear raises instead of just a ton of shoulder press, like as a compound. You see Olympic lifters, they want to do shoulder press as a compound movement. And I'm like, okay, well, I get that. But powerlifters don't need that very much. You press forward, not up. So the more shoulders you do and the more attention you focus on handstands, Olympic movements, and just plain hypertrophy for shoulders, the more you're going to compromise your bench and compromise it in strength or in potential getting injured. I have made that mistake. That's a part of the reason why my bench hasn't grown when I started powerlifting, is because I wanted to do everything, and that wasn't the way to go. Not at all. Okay. The rest, I don't even want to talk about, like biceps and calves and all kinds of random things. Maybe I've forgotten one or two things, but the majority of the powerlifting accessories are pretty simple. So let's hear about what I've missed and what you guys think about the accessories so far.
Would you consider military press to be an accessory?
Yeah, for sure. 100%. Yeah.
Okay. Is that considered a shoulder exercise, or is that more of a other stuff exercise?
More of what? Shoulder
or other stuff? I was just being kind of...
Yeah, you're talking about like Arnold press or just military press like this? Yeah. Shoulders, a little chest if you're on the machine that's angled. Yeah. I didn't say this about shoulders. So like, why are they getting overworked so much? I guess especially for women, we are just smaller up top. So if you have taken the time and the diligence to really train your upper body, you can take more volume in bench. You can take more shoulder exercises, no matter what they are, accessories, compounds, machines, whatever. But if you're at the gym with a friend and she has just started training and she wants to hit like shoulders, don't make sure she doesn't do bench next day. You know, it's kind of like you don't deadlift before a heavy squat situation. It's not a very safe move. I would let your upper body recover first, tendons, ligaments, just make sure everything recovers, because it's going to take forever to recover if you haven't trained upper body enough.
Okay, so I know I saw you put forearms at the very bottom. And like I said, my forearms were so sore after just carrying dumbbells around for the first time in like 6 weeks. But I always thought grip strength was important, especially for deadlift. I mean, I guess it's not as much for squats and bench, but to do your other lifts and to work your back with those pulls, and especially with deadlift, I mean, you have to have good grip strength. So, and a lot of times when I'm training, especially heavy, I feel like I'm going to lose my grip. I can lift the weight, I'm just going to drop it. So I have to use straps. So, in a lot of competitions, you can't use straps. So, like, how do you go about that, I guess?
Hook grip.
I tried that. It hurts.
Yep, it does.
I only tried it once, but it hurt. And I was like, no. I'm aware.
Yeah, you have to build up to it, and it's the suckiest process. Julie knows, Caitlin knows. It depends on the length of your fingers. It depends on how comfortable you are with pain for a couple months. I've heard that if you actually get comfortable, that means your nerve endings and the ends of your thumbs just die. You don't feel it. I don't know if it's true. It's just a wives' tale. I actually don't know. But
well, I don't like that at all.
No. So my answer to you is forearms are probably important for like Olympia bodybuilders that just work out almost like ears and every single, like, I don't even know what else. That's my level of forearm work is like training ears, training freaking, I don't know, fingers. Like, what are you doing? But they can be useful, you're right, for grip strength. The reason why I don't care is because I hook grip. There's absolutely zero chance I'm going to hold 400 pounds like this. And I can do switch grip, but until hook grip starts bothering me, I'm not going to, because I want to be symmetric. And like Julie knows, Julie, I think you've trained with straps most of the time, right?
Yeah, my hook grip would fail a lot because during the deadlift, my fingers would hit my thigh. Where am I? Okay. My fingers would like hit my thigh and then it would open my hand or start to open my hand. And so that was actually a bigger problem for me with hook grip than the pain, was just my hand would get peeled open. And I feel like that's maybe an issue unique to women or people with smaller hands. If you're a dude and your hand is like totally wrapped around the bar, I don't think you're going to have that problem as much.
Right.
Yeah, I've had that problem before, and I have no solution for the fingers being opened by thighs, like we've talked about it before. I've had that happen to me, but if I put enough baby powder on my thighs and chalk on my hands, it usually was fine. But yeah, some dudes, they have fingers so long. Like Errol, he hooks not like this, but like this. Like these fingers of his are so damn long, he can even hook like that. So that's crazy.
Yeah, I have tiny fingers and gigantic thighs, so it just doesn't help.
Yeah. So we may need to include some more biceps work if in the end you're going to do switch grip, just for some safety and protection of all of your ligaments that are going to get engaged when you do switch.
Yeah, that's what I normally do, a switch. And even when I do that, it hurt. Well, when I'm using straps or anything, my thighs actually hurt when I get done. So I could see the hook grip that happening. It didn't happen to me because I didn't try it enough. As soon as I feel pain, I stop. So, so yeah, I don't know. I guess I could try it again, but I'm not very optimistic.
Yeah, Carol, you may try fat grips. Those are like the rubber things that you can put on the bar and the dumbbell, so you train more grip while doing anything. I have a pair of those. Don't really care, honestly, but a lot of my guys, they love them. They're like, "Oh, my forearms, this." I'm like, "Who gives a shit about forearms?" Like, but
And you can
apparently,
use those with any exercise.
yeah,
We have some at the gym, so.
yeah, absolutely. Try them out for like delt raises and other stuff. See how they feel.
All right.
Yeah. Hi, Caitlin.
Hello. Sorry I'm late.
No worries. Good to see you. We are just getting done talking accessories. And let's see. What were the main points? More back, less abs. What do you think about training for grip strength?
That's definitely important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For deadlift or for what?
For deadlift. Yeah, for sure. It doesn't help if I can, like, my legs can lift 300 pounds, but my hands can't hold it.
What do you think when you do switch grip? Can your hands hold it when it's switch grip?
Yeah, it's much easier.
So why do you need to train grip if in switch it's just going to be a no-brainer?
Just, I guess, confidence and like knowing I have the bar. And there was a time where like that still was difficult, but now like it's much better.
Okay. Cool. Would you like to tell us about your wins from last week?
Okay. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago now that
I think 2 weeks, yeah.
2 weeks, yeah. The meet, that was fun. It was a good time. My prep wasn't as good as I thought I wanted it to be, so I don't think I did quite as well as I would like, but it was still a good time. And my wins for this past week is I've been super consistent with my workouts, so it's good.
Any PRs that you're excited about that you hit or anything else? Because you're saying the prep is not ideal. You could have done better. I honestly think you did great. I honestly think if you did everything perfectly, you wouldn't have PR'd like a lot more on stuff. So I think you did awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, I PR'd on my deadlift, but it didn't feel as good as like last time. So I think that was like, I could have probably pulled that last time. I just didn't attempt it. But then the squat felt really good. I think that's a PR as well. At least a PR on the platform. So.
Congratulations.
Thank
That's
you. You too.
Thanks.
Any plans on the next competitions? Maybe next year? You said you come back to that gym.
Yeah, definitely that one again. I'm thinking of trying again for something in like late fall, maybe early like winter. I don't know, something like that.
Okay, with USBC, right?
Probably just because they have a lot of things going on in my area.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
I need to check them out because USAPL now allows to compete in other federations. So my coach, I was like, oh, maybe I should switch. Maybe I should go Powerlifting America. And he was like, how about you just win all of the alternative federations first? And I'm like, oh, okay. I don't really care. I just care about a sanctioned meet. That's it. But
Yeah,
USBC,
nothing to compare it to, but I mean, I've enjoyed both. They were both a lot of fun and well run, I felt.
are they tested?
So you have the option, but yes,
The ones that you did, were they tested?
I didn't test, but like there were people there. If you want to break a record, you have to test, and then there's tested divisions. But like I didn't think it was worth it, so I didn't do that.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I'm asking because like some of them let you go to like the next level to go to the nationals or whatever if you compete and tested. And you're not guaranteed to get tested, but there's always an option. I think they do the pool of 10%.
Yeah, something like that. Like I don't know if everyone who breaks a record has to get tested, but yeah, like if you enter that division, there's a chance you'll get tested.
Yeah, they skew towards the stronger people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Cool. So what are you doing now? What are you doing after the meet?
Well, I'm trying to lose weight, but I feel like I'm toning up, but I'm not losing weight. Like I haven't measured my inches yet, but like I'm sure I've lost something.
You look like you've lost weight.
Thank you. Yeah, I definitely like I feel like I'm losing inches, but every time I step on the scale, like my body fat percentage doesn't seem to move, and my weight is basically just staying the same. Like, well, I feel great, I look great, and that's all wonderful, but I would really like to compete like the weight class beneath where I'm at. I'm like, I don't know if I'm ever going to get there.
I'm in the same boat. I've gained quite a bit of weight getting ready for my competition, and because I was pretty lean when I started out, and so now I'm just wanting to get back down, go down one weight class, and it's tough. It's really tough, especially for, like, I don't know if anybody else has this, but I've learned that tracking macros is just not something that I want to do. Just for like my kind of mental health, it kind of makes me have a bad relationship with food. It makes me start looking at food in a very kind of unhealthy way. So I'm just trying to be more active, and like Katya and I are working on having, making more like healthy dietary choices without being like super obsessive about it and counting every little grain of rice or whatever that I'm eating. But it's hard to do it that way and make sure you're losing weight and not also losing a ton of muscle at the same time.
Yeah, I definitely have the same issue. Like I'll be really good counting and everything for like maybe a month, and then I'm just like, I hate this. I can't do this anymore. So like, for me, I think the hardest thing is, yeah, that's helpful, and if I could stick with it, that'd be great. But the hardest part of like even wanting to lose weight is knowing that like my lips might suffer. So like with bench, like I didn't mean to lose weight in this last prep, but there was a week where just like my hunger like fell off completely, so I wasn't eating a lot, and I lost like I don't know 4 or 5 pounds, and my bench just tanked, and I was like, this is the worst thing ever. like I wanted to lose weight, I was excited about that, and then I was like, wait, what happened? So that's a struggle.
Yeah, for sure. Especially if you're like at that strength level. My coach told me you can choose to be pretty or you can choose to be strong. So yeah, unfortunately, that's the reality. I feel y'all on tracking because it's tough for me to track for the same reasons as for you, Julie. The relationship with food and the past of like eating disorders and OCD about food. And just having an overall healthy plan on what to eat is great, and it's working, except for when I travel and go to Veg Fest, because I cannot throw away food. And when we're leaving the Airbnb and every single vendor has given us a thing with a fridge stacked with just all of the different, probably half of them junk food vegan options and stuff that I don't always get around town, and it's like vegan pizza and I don't know, fried chicken and barbecue and Philly cheese steak sandwiches and like vegan pork that is local, some kind of a fancy creation. So it's crazy, and I'm gonna eat it, and I'm gonna stay the same weight, I guess. So, yeah.
Yeah, I feel you. I'm big on food waste too. Like I live in an apartment, so ideally if I had extra food left over, I'd just compost it, and then I'd know, okay, it's, you know, going back to the earth and don't have to feel too bad. But yeah, it's really hard, especially if it's a Philly cheesesteak. It's like, how do you throw that away? I mean,
Yeah, we get the best stuff. So it's ridiculous. Speaking of that, I think, Julie, you're the only one who's like super far, but Michelle, Carol, and Caitlin, y'all are welcome to come up to the Triangle Veg Fest. It's my favorite festival. It's this Sunday. If you get the newsletter, there'll be more info there. But yeah, it's all day. It's free, and I'll be there all day. There's a ton of, again, vendors with food and vegan stuff, and it's supposed to finally not rain.
You said, is it this weekend?
Yes, it's on Sunday, downtown Durham Central Park.
Okay.
Oh, Central Park. All right.
Yeah, we're also going to go to Raleigh Pride on Saturday and give out flyers for the Veg Fest if y'all want to join.
That sounds cool. I have plans, unfortunately, but hopefully someone else.
What is it, Caitlin?
I said, unfortunately, I'll be in New Jersey, but yeah.
Cool. Does anybody have any questions or other things you guys want to share, talk about? We talked about the wins. What about the challenges?
So back extensions.
I hate them.
I can't, yeah, it hurts me to do them on the only incline
The only
thing we
machine
have
we
at the
have at
gym.
Right.
Is there an alternative that I can do that would be less, I guess?
Do they hurt you on the hip bones because of how you are being supported by the machine?
No, it actually hurts my knees.
Got it. Okay, because you're
I feel like I'm hyperextending.
I got you. Okay, that makes total sense.
And maybe the machine just doesn't adjust enough down that I can actually, that it's hitting right. I don't know.
I feel you. Your knees are in full extension. That's why it hurts. And there's no way to put like a pad under a knee to keep them in slight bent position. So that sucks. Yeah. We can do reverse hypers on a ball. So if you are on a yoga ball, you can choose, you can either be on a yoga ball with your upper body and your lower body is going to, your legs are going to go down and extend, right? And then you can bend knees, however. Or you can do the opposite. You can get on the ball with your legs, and then Carol is going to hold your legs, hold your feet down, and hopefully not let go. And you can bend over. Yeah, sure, try it. And you can bend over and extend. Maybe you can get a stronger person who can hold not like feet, but above the knees. So then your knees don't have to do anything with this exercise, you see. But the closer the person is to the hips, the more force they have to put in.
Right. Okay.
I think she just called me weak. Did you hear that? I'm just kidding.
Oh my God. I mean, if you guys want to look funny, basically Carol can like sit on top of your thighs.
I can do that. I can sit out.
I mean, for real, because the knees are free and Michelle is on the ball with her hips. Where's my microphone?
You're muted now. Okay, there you go.
I touched my microphone. It doesn't like to be touched. It's very finicky. Cool. So Michelle is on the ball. Here's the legs, right? And then Carol can just sit on top to grab the thighs. And then this upper body can just go down and up. The only problem with this is it's not as full range, right? Because when you hit the floor, that's it. And it would be wonderful if you could just bend over like 90 degrees. But we do what we can.
Yeah. Okay.
During COVID, we did hip thrusts like that. There was a hashtag thrust your partner. And one person would, no, yeah, for real. One person would get to the couch and lay with like shoulder blades on the couch and then protrude with their knees forward. And like their friend would sit on their waist and they would just hip thrust them.
I could see us doing that at the gym. We already get made fun enough up there. That would be hilarious.
It's not super comfortable, actually. I thought it would be more comfortable, but it's just a funny thing. Cool. Well, we should start a comedy show. Anything else, y'all? Throw things out there that you wanted to share, complain about, talk about. We do have a couple of new folks on the team, and I was hoping they would join, but as always, they're shy. We have a marathon runner who's trying to get strong. Yay! I know. And I'm going to try to have him prioritize lifting because every day I log in and I see like 4 mile run, like every day. I'm like, oh God. So yeah. We have a mother who's trying to figure out things among her kids and how to not finish food after them. That's like the super tough thing. And we have a lady who just had, I don't think she had a hip replacement, but her hip like popped out of socket and she couldn't train for a while. Now she's back because she has healed. Yeah, so she's excited to hit it again.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, you go.
I was saying, like, you were saying, like, things to complain about. It's nice having, like, a place to work out at my house, but, like, I wish y'all lived closer because you're trying to all these new people. And I'm like, it'd be so cool if we could just work out together.
Yeah, I mean, we can pick a weekend and just work out here at David's gym because David lives here and his gym will fit all of us.
It's just
Probably.
Like, I know, I mean, obviously I'm much closer to Julie, but, like, it's still, like, a 3.5 hour drive.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're like 30 minutes maybe. So
Yeah. Julie, what were you going to ask?
So I was just going to, Katya and I have been talking about me giving a presentation to the group about the environmental impact of dietary choices and kind of understanding a bit more about carbon footprint and the water impact of different foods. So taking a little bit different approach to things because we always talk about nutrition and there's a lot of vegans who care about animal cruelty, but thinking about it from kind of the more sustainability and environmental standpoint. So anyway, I just wanted to kind of throw that out there and see if that would be interesting to folks, or at least entertaining, hopefully.
yeah, I think it sounds interesting.
Yeah, we would go or listen or watch or whatever.
Cool.
Yeah, that would be awesome. That's probably my number one reason for being vegan. So I'm like, yeah.
Oh, sweet. Okay. Great.
Yeah, environment got me too, Julie. I think health was like, oh, okay, but environment was the thing that like made me go vegan and stick vegan.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. That's awesome.
Do you guys want to look at your calendars and see if there's a good weekend for y'all to come out and live together? Because we all want to party and hang out and do cool things. So I am gone like 2 weekends out of the month, which is why I pulled this up. Maybe y'all can throw some dates, or I can throw some dates, and I don't know how far in advance do they have to be for us to plan. What are y'all thinking?
Maybe we could do like a doodle poll.
Okay. I mean, we sure can, because a lot of the folks are not here, but I feel like a lot of the folks who are not here are also gonna like be too shy to show up in person, you know, and so we can just put in the group chat and be like, hey, these and these work for me. So, but even remotely, would you be thinking July, August, September, October?
Weekends are pretty wide open for me. It just depends. It's hard to say.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, yeah, doodle poll would work. Or if y'all have any preferences that would work, throw them in the group chat.
Cool. Yeah, I'm kind of definitely interested. I think I might have some life changes coming up that might impact my availability. So
Yeah.
I'll just kind of have to see what dates work for everyone. And I think in the next couple of weeks, I'll know a lot more about my schedule.
Okay. So if in the next couple of weeks it's gonna solidify, would it be earlier? Would it be better for you to do earlier or later?
Probably later, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Sounds good.
But also I'm the furthest away. So like, you know, I don't want to ruin everyone's plans.
Nothing is gonna be ruined by sharing your availability. So
Cool.
awesome. Julie, so do you want to present the environmental effects of food choices next in 2 weeks, or how does that sound?
Yeah, I think that sounds good. I actually, I've been on my other screen here. I've been kind of typing the outline, and I've been thinking about it for a while. So
That's awesome.
Yeah, I can do it next time.
Sweet. I love it. I have a request for that presentation. A lot of people who are meat eaters, like omnivores, you know, who are like against vegan, which is like stupid. You know, I'm like, I'm not bothering you. Please don't bother me. They're like, oh, the meat replacements and all those things that require so many resources, so much more than meat and so much more water and all that stuff. And I'm like, no. Also, I don't have the data. So I'm like, I just walk
I've got
away.
data. I've got reams of data.
They'll complain about like, oh, the water for almonds and almond milk. I'm like,
Yeah.
Yes, it was the almonds. I remember when I worked in construction, there was some douchebag who was like, "Who drinks almond milk? All the almonds require all this water, and then avocados. Only assholes eat avocados because it requires 4 times as much water to grow one avocado." And I was like, "Beef? How
Yeah.
about beef?"
Oh, man.
Not to mention, not just the water that goes in, but all the water pollution that happens after the fact. All of it. And then like the slash and burn for like the Amazon. Why? Meat production. Don't even get me started. I'm very looking.
Oh yeah, no, I'll try to be concise in my 20 minutes, but I think data is the most powerful thing you can show people. So I plan to have a lot of like papers and references and everything to show like I didn't just make this up. Here's where it comes from. And then I can send that to everyone, and you can all use it as ammunition when you argue with people, because I do.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it really sucks that a lot of the people who have different opinions, they just refuse to see the proof of data, and they still do whatever the crazy stuff that they do. You know?
Yeah, and I think, everybody has different philosophies on kind of the approach to take. I wish the whole world would be vegan. That would be awesome. But I also don't think it's feasible. And so I think to show people like, hey, if you choose, chicken instead of beef, you're still making a big impact. If you choose this over that, you're still making a big impact. And so that way people will they don't have to make a whole 180-degree change. They can start like working their way over. And then as they learn more and more, oh, okay, well, maybe I can cut this other thing out too. So I think, reaching more people that way who already eat meat, or maybe they're opposed to going completely vegan, it helps to get people to kind of, or at least like do meatless Mondays or something like that. Like being imperfect for a longer period of time is so much better, has a much bigger impact than being perfect for a little period of time.
Yeah.
So
that's a great message.
Yeah, I like that.
I'm going to write it down. Well, wonderful quote to wrap the call on.
Not just for veganism, but just even like working out, consistency is much better than doing it perfectly one time a month or whatever.
Totally.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks, y'all. This was a super cozy call. I love it. And in 2 weeks, we're going to see Julie rain data on us.
Yes.
Man. Awesome. Well, I'm going to remove y'all from the stream. Bye, Michelle and Carol. Bye, Julie. And bye, Caitlin.
Bye.
Thank you for coming, y'all. This was very fun and cozy and productive. And I hope you join us in 2 weeks because we're going to have our first client presentation by Julie, who used to work in, I think, well, actually, I'm not going to share. She can share where she used to work and where life is leading her now. But I do trust her sources. I do trust her knowledge on the environmental effects of food choices and cannot wait to see that. So until next time, thank you for tuning in. Bye.